Ta-da! Alright, we're live. We're gonna play a TFT, rank, naturally. Boom. Now let's all go. Well, hopefully. We'll see. You know how it is. This is the first time that I've streamed on YouTube, so this should be interesting, if nothing else. Also, new model update. Let me know what you think. It's still all the same thematics, but made some things a little bit smoother, retextured a couple of things, changed the shape a little bit in the face. Ta-da-da! Alrighty. Well, this definitely ought to be interesting, if nothing else. Oh! Ranked games. I have not played any game today, so it's just straight into ranked, which ought to be interesting. Who do we have? We have a Shisha. We have a Silverwing. We have a Pulsefire Finroar. Shisha. Sorry. I always read it as Shisha for some reason. Pulsefire Finroar. That reminds me of the Pulsefire skins pretty decently. They've done a good job on that. Yeah. I'm not sure I would use it myself very often though. Time to see my GPU heat up. Wonder how much of everything is. Alright. Is it still set 6.5? I think it is. I don't think it's updating for a few weeks yet, right? Because the TFT pass has still got a week on it. So they normally wait for the pass to end, give it like a week or whatever, then change it and then let people get used to it and bring out the new pass. Right? That is normally how they do it, right? Oh, here we go. I'm looking forward to the new set. I like the new sort of layout. I'm gonna take the Debonair. Right. Bam. Twink. Oh, right, yes, Dragon Eggs. I haven't actually played this much of the Dragon Egg set yet. Is this not... Alright. I guess I better find out what my hotkeys are for everything. Kimtiet. Might do Kimtiet. What's this? Syndicate Enchanter. Well, I don't have either of those, so I might sell her. Why can I not see my options screen? What did I do? I don't know.
Vengeance.
Well, that's what I get, I suppose. VIP. When an ally dies, they grant Debonair VIP 30% of their maximum health. I mean, the target's 2.5% maximum health. You could deal that much damage. Or ignoring armor. Screw it. I'm gonna do the VIP thing. Which means I need to figure that out. I don't know why my options menu didn't appear nicely, but it didn't. It's fine. We'll deal with that when we deal with it.
You never stood a chance.
Wink. Alright. Divinia, right? That's what we're going for. So that's what Brand, Syndra, Talon, Leona, Draven, and Zeri. Is there a way to create chain vest and a spatula? Okay. Da, da, da. Alrighty. X-Tex. I feel like I don't really want X-Tex. I don't want Sniper either. Feel like do you want maybe Ari for the Arcanist buff? And then who else would be good? Someone more frontliner, I guess? So I suppose someone like, is Tryndamere in here? He is, right? Yeah, Tryndamere. I already have a Tryndamere. It would kind of make sense. Just a little bit. It would kind of make sense a little bit. Who else would be good? A sniper, maybe? To go alongside Zeri? No, we want something a bit beefier. Maybe a Blitzcrank? Maybe. Blitzcrank or like a Braum is what I'm thinking. Maybe. So far my line of thinking is all of the Debonaires, Ari, Tryndamere. Oh, I see exactly what I need. Meow. Mine. Da, da, da. There we go. Okay. My emotes just weren't working before, for whatever reason. I'm gonna get rid of Singed. I don't need the Singed. I need the Debonair. That is the Challenger. So the idea is to have, what? All of the Debonair, Arcanist, Bodyguard, Challenger. That's the idea, at least. I'm in last place, though, and this is rank. Ow. Was that? Nah. That was. Sniper Arcanist. You could stand in.
It is in motion.
Stand in for Ari, because I would like Ari. Let's test the chat right here. I need to change the chat color from black to white. That's something I didn't think about. Because I can barely read it. Which is mildly annoying. One more until the treasure dragon egg it opens up. Bam. Okay, what did we get? Armory of Emblems. I'll take that, I suppose, and then I don't have to worry about the Ari, because I'll just have the Arcanist buff. And then I can have a different sort of buff, maybe Scholar, perhaps? I don't know. Kind of feeling it. Then I'll have full buffs active. Isn't it?
More. I can be so much more.
Boom, boom, boom. 2, there we go. 3, 4. Right. Full econ. Let's go. I hope you believe in me. I don't believe in me. Alright. I don't get to see the options. Sad days. I just get to suffer. Kintic Debonair, which I think I've missed a whole bunch, to be fair.
Compromise.
The Challenger.
Into battle.
Yeah, let's Challenger. No, that's really what we want, right? Debonair. Your units with no trait. No, I want the unique artifact. Trinity Force. How can I go past Trinity Force? I can't. It's Trinity Force. It's the most fun. I'm just gonna do this so that I can get another one out on the board. Probably, I'm on 36% health right now. This isn't good. I'm not doing good. I'm doing the opposite of good. Let's look up. What sort of music should we have? You know what? I think League of Legends did. Yeah. Thank you, League of Legends, for creator sessions. Well, this is fine. There we go. That's not too loud. I see exactly what I need. Because I did not get this in the last slot. I want to make a debonair. A debonair. A dibby. A debonair. A debonair. Oh, Debonair Arcanist. No, I don't want that. I would like Debonair Emblem. Boom. We're gonna put that on Morgana. Syndicate Scholar. That's actually what I want. Boom! We're going up in the world now. I don't want the Debonair brand. I don't want the Debonair Syndra either. I don't know. I keep on forgetting what I'm going for. I'm on 11 health. You know what? Boom. I got the Syndra out. It's fine. This is fine. I don't see any problem. Problems? Seen? None. I might die here, it's fine. Something, something, something. At least I had fun? Nah, I didn't. I died. Dying's not fun. I did have fun though. I'm not gonna keep watching. It's not like I have like any friends or anything in there, so. Oh no, I went down! So sad. Alright, let's change out our tacticians and our arena skin. We'll work backwards from the boom. I feel like I want to do that. Paintonator. Oh. Oh, I like these. Alright, I'm gonna change to that. I'm gonna change... What's the most, like, golden board? I guess that one's probably my most golden board. In that sort of golden color. And then tactician. Maybe this one? Let's see. What else do I have? I feel like I have a lot of options. But I feel like tick here. I feel like that's not the one that I want for this one. I feel like the order sprite is the order of the day. There's no 3-star order sprite. It's fine. We're gonna change our icon to... I want the double spatula. Yeah. There we go. That's kind of cool, right? No title. No. Show owned. Iconic. Yep, that works. Let's go. Let's go. We're ready for TFT now. At least I think so. Alright, I'm gonna mark that. Bum, 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 bum. Alrighty. Now we're warmed up. Hopefully, I won't start the game and then just go downhill from there. I don't mind losing, but I have a tendency to come last a lot. I have ideas and then I just forget them. All the best ideas. I just forget them. It's like they were never there. You can see when I turn sideways. What about this way? Kind of. I feel like it's not as much. Alrighty. This is fine. Ah, sigh. Takes forever to find a game. And by forever, I mean, this isn't actually too bad, but if it goes above 5 minutes, it'll feel like forever. Oh my gosh. Okay. We have Groovy Kiki. Decisions were made. Not ones I'm a fan of. We've got Star Guardian Sprite, which could be fun. We've got Arcade Light Charger. Ultimately, it depends on whether or not they actually synergize everything. I want one of these. I didn't actually want the Debonair, but I wanted one of those 4 items on that side, so I'll take it. Another 8 cost thing. 8 turn thing. Sorry. I'm not sorry. Alrighty. Okay.
Fire's
That.
vengeance.
I'm not mad at that. I'm a big fan of Quinn. Like, a big, big fan. So... that's always a tempting one. Hex Tech. What's that Hex Tech? Alright, there's 3 Hex Tech right there. We'll see what we get next turn. Whee!
Fire's vengeance.
Arcanist emblems. %60% of the time. Oh, weak spot. Weak spot. As much as I want the Arcanist emblems,
Short fuse.
I'm not going to. Alright. Boink, boink, boink. Alright. So far, we might be going Hex Tech, but there's no certainty to that. Dun, dun, dun. Nah. Alright, alright. Hex Arcanist. Alright, now it's time for me to decide what I'm actually doing, I suppose. I feel like I'm gonna go Hex Tech, which is Darwin, the other dude, that dude, that dude, that dude, that dude. But I needed Hex Tech emblem, which is a tier. And I would probably want an Arcanist. So, I guess I'm gonna get rid of these ones.
Find me greater foes.
Yeah. As much as I think I'm going Hex Tech. It's just a very easy synergy.
Topple their forces.
Alright, let's go. That dude's doing Chemtech, that dude's doing Mutant, that dude's doing Bruiser, that dude's going Yord, question mark, that dude's probably, I don't know, Mutant, Mercenary, Bodyguard. Yeah, I can go Hex Tech. I could have gone Debonair, but like, really? After last time, I'm not sure I really want that either. Last time was such a struggle. I like having the synergies, they're nice.
Find me greater foes.
Alright, and there's the Colossus. Alrighty. Hi! Welcome, welcome. This is the first time ever that I've, like, streamed on YouTube. So we'll figure it out. Ignore the fact that the chat box on the stream is dark, so you can't actually read it at the moment. We will fix that after the stream, probably. Hopefully. Yeah, I see you. I had to. You said meow. Got 3 turns until this egg hatches. How is it? Is it heaps different to Twitch or not really? It is significantly different to Twitch. First off, I can't have 2 different audio channels, one for streaming and one for the VODs. So I can't just like have background music of whatever the hell I want to listen to, and then just not have that recorded, which I probably shouldn't be doing anyways on Twitch, but I do. And it's not like the music or background stuff is the main attraction. It's my reactions to whatever I'm doing, like the game I'm playing or whatever. There's a lot less on YouTube compared to Twitch in terms of streaming stuff. I'm not really sure whether or not I like how things are set up on YouTube. It just feels a bit more cluttered without any good reason. Because there's less tools. Like, the integration into OBS is mediocre at best. So, I don't know, we'll see. It's not the worst. But, I mean, the main, like, the tags that I can have for stream tags is basically just like subscriber, member, donor, and then I guess merch stuff, and then that's it. But on Twitch, you have so much more options. Maybe. They might still be figuring stuff out, sure. But also, from what I've heard from other content creators, YouTube doesn't really, like, they've got a lot of stuff that they're working on, and I'm not really sure this is it. Because they've had a lot of feedback for basic functionality in it. I mean, it's not the worst, but, connecting the account to OBS did not work at all.
Is it chill in the air?
It should, but it didn't. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. It's just, I'm very used to the fully fleshed out, side that Twitch has for streaming. In terms of being able to do the 2 separate audio channels and stuff. And just kind of, I don't know, it's a little cluttered in the sense of like, there's a lot of layers of stuff. Like on Twitch you have donors, bits, which they also call tiers, depending on how it's done. And then you have subscriber and follower, and there are a lot of layers. You've also got raids and the hosting and stuff like that, which you can set alerts for, but you can't set alerts for that type of thing. Yeah, because it's not really a thing on YouTube.
I love a challenge.
We'll see. I hope that they integrate the concept of raids and hosts at some point. I feel like hosts would be the easiest one for them to do because it just essentially links or embeds the other person's stuff on the offline person's webpage or whatever. So I feel like it would be the easiest. Whereas raids is when you redirect your viewers at the end of your stream to another person's stream. So that might be less basic? I don't know. I'm not sure how all of that stuff works. Innovator. I don't have Innovator. I could do Enforcer, but I need 3 Enforcers to get anything, so... yeah. I don't know. Part of the reason why I prefer Twitch is just because I already have everything set up for Twitch. I'm very familiar with how Twitch works. They've been around since forever. I really want to move away from Twitch now that there's competing options. It makes sense to work on their lives more though, since some pretty big Twitch streamers are moving to YouTube. Yeah, for sure. It's a complicated issue. I wish it was easier. I wish this live streaming stuff wasn't so complicated. But the fact that there are now actually, like, people are taking notice of the live streaming space, that makes me happy. Because, I mean, yeah, they've been quote-unquote competitors, but, like, the first one that kind of got a lot of attention was what? T-Live? Stream on the blockchain. Ugh. Yeah, no, that whole place was a mess. Mixer, I actually liked Mixer a lot. But it's dead. Which is a shame, because it could have been something. And it kind of was for a little while, but I understand why it isn't. Because it costs a lot of money to upkeep live streaming stuff and just video platforms in general. Which I had no idea how expensive it was until I think it was Linus Tech Tips video when they were talking about float playing. That I was like, oh wait, I never really thought about everything that goes into these sorts of things. That totally had potential. It's such a shame. Yeah, I agree. Or, you know what? Target dummies or decisions. You know what? I'm gonna go for the extra game edge. We'll just chuck this out because we can. Yeah, I'm liking, like, there's okay, so, Twitch I've never really been a fan of that much in the sense of, I've used Twitch because it's been easy and convenient, right? But, like, it's still owned by, what, Amazon now? And it has been for ages, and I have never really been a fan of Amazon. Even before I knew about all of the icky stuff they've gotten up to, I kind of got scammed by Amazon because their little, like, confirmation thing where they put through, I think it's like $1 charge. They did that a bunch of times over and over and over again, but it wasn't refunding straight away, and I don't know what was up with that, but I had to contact my bank to get it to stop. Because every time I, like, tried to sign up, because there was one time I decided I wanted to try out Twitch Prime. Never again. I will not go near it. But that was before I knew about all of the other stuff that they had going on, like the iffy stuff that they had going on, just with their workers and all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, I got really upset when that happened, because I was still quite young at the time, and not very familiar with how the world worked, and I kind of just cried a lot and didn't know what was gonna happen. Luckily, my bank was surprisingly good considering it's normally awful. So that was good. And yeah, no, after that I found out more about Amazon as a whole, and I was like, oh, damn, okay, this seems like mistakes. Yeah, that's like all of the stuff I've heard about Amazon is pretty much the same thing, and how shady they can be and whatnot, especially with their workers and all of that sort of stuff. There is a competitor to both Twitch and YouTube. We are not acknowledging that Facebook Live is a thing. And also, even though Steam does do live streaming, Steam is like just a general social platform, so I don't think that really counts. Like social gaming shit. I don't think it counts, personally. But, I mean, if you want to count it, you can. But no, there's one called Trovo, or something like that, Trovo, that is owned by Tencent. So, I've been keeping my eye on that, because, you know, Tencent owns all of our little gamer souls, because I swear to God, they own everything. But that's something to keep eyes on, whether or not that takes off. It looks promising, but the only thing is, I do have an account, and I'm gonna try it out. But also, I don't really like the idea of selling my soul to Tencent, because that's got a lot of iffy implications. What is Trovo, or what is Steam live streaming stuff?
Deeds, not words.
Because there's one called Trovo, and that's owned by Tencent, who owns all our little gamer souls, because they own a lot of stuff in this space.
Trample them.
Surprisingly, a lot. Yeah, so they have stakes in a lot of games. A lot more than I would like to acknowledge. I'll put this on the bench. Oh, no. But they do. They have a lot going on for them. So I'm keeping an eye on it. I'm gonna try it out, see how it goes. I probably won't stick with it because same issues I have with Amazon, I basically have with Tencent, except like 1,000 times harder.
Deeds, not words.
As it is. They're not exactly most friendly company in the world, to put it politely. But Tencent does have stakes in a lot of games I play, which is, it is what it is. They're kind of trying to work on their image at the moment, and the internet has a short memory, so they'll probably recover their image and make everyone, including me, forget.
I sense fear.
It's kind of funny because it's like the internet never forgets, but also the individuals that make up the user base that uses the internet are also very easily distracted. You jangle some keys and it's like, ah yes, shiny entertaining thing over there. Ow. doing too badly this time. I really need to change the text color from black to white. Oh my god. Yeah, small human brains forget everything.
Is it chill here?
There we go. Yeah, the internet is both wondrous and terrifying. It's both somewhere where I can have like a moment of respite and somewhere where I can never feel safe because I don't know what the person on the other end of the line is intending or how they're gonna take something, even if it's something that's really well intentioned. Like, I could say something that I think is really nice, and then the other person could take it completely different, and it's scary. Let me free! Let me free! I won't get what I want, I guarantee it. Hold it. What do I want? Might as well go for this one.
Empire
Yeah.
above all.
I don't know. It's messy navigating life when your life has kind of always been messed up from the start.
Sacrifices must be made.
You're stuck with a whole bunch of decisions that should not be as big as they feel, but they feel like really big decisions just based on previous bad experiences. Yeah, no, I made... Okay, so because I was so online for a really long time and very entrenched in it, I moved somewhere where it was a smaller place, and this is being said, I already was in a small town at the time, but I moved somewhere smaller with the intention of like, I know I need to like make real friends in the real world and like get out there, and I thought maybe being in a smaller place would be like sweet, easy, like I would be able to talk to people more. I was wrong. It doesn't make anything easier. I was delusional. Past me was doing a dum-dum. All the best intentions did not work out. So now I'm stuck in a place with less people to talk to, because my brain is just like, no one is safe, which is fair. But also, it's very annoying. I don't know if I'm going to leave this live stream up, but I might have it unlisted and then watch it back, see whether or not I feel comfortable. But I do have a tendency to kind of like jump in the deep end and then go, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Honestly, I don't know how adults make friends. Me too. I think a part of it is not having trauma responses really helps. In my observations, people tend to connect with people over the most random stuff. I don't get it. Having hobbies and common interests and like common past experiences and common current experiences are also like big things. Cultural experiences of like big events that happen that a lot of people partake in also help. Not a fan, not because those things are bad, just because,
Death.
weird, can't relate. Sob. It's something that really upsets me a lot. Well, I shouldn't really say a lot, but sometimes, from time to time when it comes up, is like common experiences that I missed out on because of my extreme isolation growing up. Workplace is another one that people make friends at, yeah. I never really made friends in the workplace, but I did meet some good people in the workplace that if I had had the help for my mental skullduggery, I might have been able to make friends with them, but I didn't get the help I needed when I needed it, when I was asking for it, constantly, and now I'm just a broken husk of a human being. It's great. I hate it. Not to say that, like, I hate myself, I just hate that things got to this point.
Topple their forces.
Boom! Golden. Alrighty. You know what? Maybe we'll give him a little chance. Boom. Well, who are we gonna take out? We'll take this one out. Boom. Looking for kick. My hobbies are not dying.
Is it chilly here?
There is a very big boy over there, and I'm not a fan. Oh, alrighty. Well, this is surprisingly working out. I will say it's very difficult to improve socially when the more socially apt among us don't really struggle like we do, and they often find the social ineptitude very off-putting because it can be very unpleasant to be around, which I completely understand. I know how it be in various different shades of, I'm a bit socially dense that I have also encountered, and some of which I am myself. So these people that are generally more socially good, generally speaking, talk with other socially good people. So it can be a little bit difficult to hang out with people that are socially smarter than you to learn from them and learn where things really should be. Yeah, that makes sense. It's really difficult to make friends when stuff has happened and it's just like, really though? Do you want to risk that? I get that. I never really had friends in, like, before 18. Well, I had, like, one high school friend, I guess. Or like one or two people that would talk to me occasionally. But I'm pretty sure they were all a bit scared that I was gonna stab them or something. I don't know. I can't really say much to that. There we go. Okay, now I can do this. It is a real struggle. The whole dynamic of being screwed over repetitively and having been in really messed up situations with people, and then not necessarily having super messed up situations with people all of the time, but just like some extremely bad stuff happens and then like lots of like not so great stuff happens, kind of just reinforces the extremely bad stuff. So it can make it hard to manage sometimes. Boom. 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 We're just gonna cheat code this. Boom. Boom. There we go. Easy. Yeah. It tints everything in a blare light. 100%. And then, even when you want, like, I can sit here, and I know that I have these, like, problems of judging people too harshly, or expecting the worst from people, even though I try my best to not be like that. It is engraved into the very fabric of who I am as a human being. And it sucks, because I can sit here and be like, I don't want to be like that, but I am like that. And there's only so much you can do to counteract that. Like, it is essentially a part of who I am as a human being, and it sucks a lot. And I wish it didn't suck so much, but it does. And there's not much I can do about it other than be like, I don't want to be that type of person. But I'm stuck here being that type of person. Because what's the option? What's the alternative? Not being that type of person? I mean, it's easier said than done. It's strange. Being as we are, you're stuck in a position a lot of the time where it's like, you are everything. Like, you are a multitude of opposing forces. You are cognitive dissonance, essentially, of like things that you wouldn't think should go together and probably don't. But what is, like, they're there. I am both extremely hopeful and extremely like expecting the best in everyone and like hoping for the best in every situation, but also extremely cynical and like expecting the worst out of every person I ever interact with. Like, it's a really strange dynamic to have going on in your head, and I'm sure you're aware of how that works. It's a mess. The fact of the matter is, like, even the stuff that I don't remember that I've been through has shaped the very fabric of who I am. And it's a lot easier to lay down stuff on top of other stuff, or like lay down foundations or whatever, than it is to like change it once it's down. Like it's easier to pour concrete than like try make that concrete take a different shape after the fact. Blindly trusting, but I don't think that's at all true. I want to trust people and I go out of my way to push away that mistrust, so I overcompensate. I fully am there with you on that one. I completely understand that because I'm very similar when it comes down to it. Like, I know that if I don't fight against a lot of, like, I guess my gut instincts toward people, I will be alone and miserable. So it's like, oh, be literally like isolated, like I used to be, except self-imposed, because that is what my brain associates with safety, I guess. Or fight against every fiber of my being, and maybe things will turn out okay? We don't know. Like, it's difficult because people are a mixed bag. And unfortunately, I'm a picky eater. Or something to that effect. My mind is like, don't hold people to the same standards. And then my person comes, what is this? Yeah. It's difficult. And it's also difficult when you haven't had healthy role models in your life to show you what healthy boundaries should look like, to then go ahead and set those healthy boundaries. And the concept of having different levels of trust depending on like how well you know somebody. And then also people often get offended if you like tell them about that. Even though, to my knowledge and my observation, literally everyone does it. But there's just a whole bunch of unwritten rules that people expect you to follow. And if you haven't been playing in that, by that book, like you haven't been in that yard playing by those rules, playing that board game, you've been off on your own, playing a completely different game altogether. Like, how are we meant to just know that stuff? It doesn't make sense. Like, how are we meant to know when to trust, or who to trust, or for how long, or when to forgive people and when not to? It's difficult. I wish there was a right answer for these sorts of things. It would make everything so much easier if there was just a right answer. But people aren't perfect and we all make mistakes in it. It's like, okay, I understand that, but I still expect people to be perfect. Is that so bad? Yes. Struggles are real. A manual would be great. Yeah, I think the closest thing we have to a manual with this stuff is like just learning psychology and learning how people work and trying to communicate better and all of that sort of stuff. But if you're one of few who actually go out of their way to try learn how to be a better person, and then the people around you don't care because they haven't been faced with anything to make them care, it can be a challenge because you're just kind of like stuck, essentially. Boom. I'm gonna do these ones. These ones should be fun. I mean, learning's all well and good, but without practice, you don't really end up being in a position where you can really fully understand something. It's like learning how to drive, but never actually going on a test drive. If nobody is willing to actually cooperate, it's just a mess. Oh. Let's see how far we can make it turn. Oh. I'm just always looking in the one direction. I think I ran out of water. Yeah. Oh well. Tis what it is. Alrighty. What's the plan for the next round? That's the real question. Yeah, at the moment, I've been struggling a lot with relationships. I've never, I don't know, I've always had this tendency to kind of just disappear. Which, when I say it out loud, sounds insane. Because it is. Because I have a mental illness. And it's dumb and does shit. That is a bit crazy. Kind of like mental illness. Anyways, so I'll just like be doing my thing, and then I'll just up and disappear on people, and I just forget about them until I'm faced with them or something crops up. And if it's me going through stuff and I'm on my own and nobody's around, then I will just like not think about it. Not that I'm trying not to think about it. It just doesn't register in my head at all. But as soon as somebody else points out like, oh, who is that? Or anything like that, I'm like, oh, crap. I left that person behind. And I'm realizing after a long time of just kind of not thinking about things, I guess. I've been too busy working on other stuff and trying not to be a toxic person. I have a lot of abandonment issues. I have known about a lot of my issues, but I just didn't realize how much that stuff impacted me until recently. Yeah, it's very easy for me to just, even if someone's a huge part of my life, even if it's, I don't know, a family member or like best friend, or like even if it's somebody that I was going out with and going steady with, not just for like weeks or months, but years, multiple years, I can just forget about them so easily. I just end up disappearing. I will leave people behind all the time, especially if they hurt me. Even if it's unintentional, even if it's some of the most minor stuff, I can just end up leaving perfectly good people who are completely well-intentioned behind. And then I sit here and I wonder why I'm alone and why I'm miserable all the time. And it's just like, I mean, yes, a lot of it is not my fault. Some of it is the mental illness stuff, like post-traumatic stress disorder type stuff. But some of it is just like, yeah, it's partly because of the symptoms of all of the mental illness stuff that I have. But some of it I can change, and I just don't, for whatever reason. I just don't. I've never been forced to confront it, really. And then even though I can sit here and talk about it, I still don't know if that's gonna end up changing. I still don't know if I'm gonna be able to change that, or if I even want to. There've been a lot of things about myself that I've been like, this is kind of a problem, but do I care enough to do anything about it? And there's been a bunch of stuff that I have changed, and then there's been a bunch of stuff that I've gone, you know, I get this is a problem, and yeah, it negatively impacts me, but the benefits of doing XYZ or acting in this way or saying things in this style or whatever it was that I thought about changing, sometimes the benefits of that, the real perceived safety of acting a certain way isn't, like, it's not worth changing because the perceived benefits outweigh the detrimental side of that stuff. So I can sit here and be like, oh yeah, I push people away, blah, 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 blah. But because of how I mean, literally traumatized I am from my past interactions with people, I can sit here and be like, yeah, I know that's bad, but like, no. I don't care enough to change some of that stuff. Yeah, well, it's a struggle because it's like, I know I'm like that, but also it's difficult for the people around us because it's just like, I am a bit like a deck of cards. You never quite know what expression of the same issue you're gonna get. Because I can sit here and be like, yeah, I push people away, but there's also a part of me that, depending on the day, is like, oh, you're the person that I trust. Alright, yep, I'm going to just only you, nobody else. Everybody else is crap. Yeah, it's really easy to just kind of, I don't know, I'm not as defined, like, I used to be like, oh yeah, like, it's really easy for me to define things. It's really, like, I know who I am overall, but outside of that, it's just like, I don't care enough to put labels on stuff a lot of the time. So people can easily get confused with me because sometimes I will be super open and forthcoming about the fact that I have a dissociative disorder, and it significantly impacts my personality because there are literally like multiple versions of me essentially that are, some of which are like, I am an entirely separate person, please treat me and such, and then others of which are like, I don't really give a shit, just treat me like a human being, please. Oh, I'm gonna go scholars, that will be fun. So it's difficult because it's like, okay, I don't know what people expect of me. I don't really care enough to keep up with that. But I just give them who I am in that moment, and sometimes it ends up in a lot of potential friendships lost. And then a lot of the time, okay, so I never really had identity problems for the longest time. I still kind of don't, but I do have anxiety related to an identity now, where I am terrified of how people are gonna treat me for just being myself. Which sucks. It shouldn't be like that, but it is. And I wish I wasn't like that, but what can you do? You know? Yeah, I never... Okay, so I never thought that I got anxious. I always thought that I never had anxiety because I never dealt with it. I never had to deal with it. I would feel anxiety and I would jump in the deep end and I would dissociate really badly. But, I mean, I didn't consider it a problem, so it wasn't a problem for me. But that's not really the reality at all. It was a problem. Really big. Yeah. I mean, I've labeled the stream as like, for mature audiences or whatever, like age restricted content. So it should be fine. But yeah, like, I never saw anything that I was anxious about as a problem. Because as far as I was concerned, it wasn't a problem. Because I was still dealing with like the whole aftermath of everything and still going through crappy situation after crappy situation. And I never really had a really good opportunity to breathe, but I was healing from things, I guess, like slowly, little bit by little bit. And then anxiety was one thing that was just like, yeah, well, at least I don't have anxiety. But then at some point I realized, well, actually, I think one of the few counselors I talked to or whatever, one of the few counselors that would actually deal with me, actually was like, oh, you sound really anxious. I'm like, oh, no, I don't get anxious. But actually, no, I do get anxious. Past me was a filthy liar. Like, I get anxious about a lot of things. It is what it is. I just never had to deal with it because it's just like I was always out of it, or I would... My way of dealing with things, if I wasn't avoiding them or dissociating, more often than not, would be to just, like, quote-unquote deal with the problem head-on, but my dealing with the problem would be, like, very extreme. So sometimes I would just move cities, or just, like, completely cut people out of my life. Entirely, without warning. I was, like, even for minor stuff, I would, my brain just kind of makes everything super extreme. Whether or not it was, it didn't really matter. Everything felt like life or death, and it still does. But that's just how my brain works. And I just have to learn how to deal with that. And it's getting less and less bad the more time that passes. But it's not gonna magically fix itself. I wish it would magically fix itself. That would make life more interesting, I guess. Okay, so I tried tried to get help all through high school. I tried to get like professional help for what I did not know what was happening. I just knew that I had this book that I wrote in that had multiple, like, I was a little bit aware of what was going on. Like, I wasn't completely disconnected, but like I was fairly disconnected. And I tried to get help from school counselors. The first school counselor broke confidentiality about the first thing that I told them about. The second school counselor I had on was okay, whatever. I didn't trust them, and they weren't bad, but they just weren't a good fit. The third school counselor I had was really good, and he worked with me, and we talked for multiple years, I think. Memory problems. But one of the things that I realized was that I was having I had very bad memory issues. And every time I brought it up with anyone, it was bugging me out. I realized pretty early on that I wasn't okay. I already knew that I wasn't okay because my whole home situation was a mess. But like, I wasn't okay mentally, and I was like, oh, I'm having memory problems. This isn't good. And so I would constantly be checking with the people around me. I'm like, I think I have memory problems. And that's all I thought it was at the start. I just thought it was memory problems and nothing else. Boy, I wish it was just memory problems. Oh my god. But no, it wasn't just memory problems, as we will later find out. But everybody, and I mean everybody around that time, when I was like, hey, by the way, I have really significant memory problems, I don't feel like this is okay. Everybody would be like, no, it's normal to forget stuff. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm like forgetting everything. And everybody around me would tell me that it was normal. That what I was going through was normal, which was a lie, but from their perspective, it was this very, I guess, dramatic, very not outspoken at the time, but like I might as well have been. I probably came across that way to a lot of people. But like this very out there extreme person was like, oh, I'm having memory problems, and they're a teenager, and teenagers have a tendency to feel everything way higher volume than it actually is. So I don't really blame them that much for being like, oh, no, you're just going through something normal. But I do blame them a little bit for the people that were in positions where they should have known better. Yeah, everyone forgets their childhood. It's normal. Are you getting enough sleep? You're a teenager going through big changes. Your mind is dealing with a lot. Yep, I heard all of it. But the thing is, I was very visibly not okay. And not just in the sense of mental health issues, but physically. I had one time where I passed out in the cafeteria because I was literally just not getting the nutrition that I needed. Which was a lot, but I'm pretty sure people thought I did that to myself. But the thing is, I had always been very visibly not okay in that particular manner for, ever since primary school. Now, the later end of primary school was when it was, the most obvious, but it was always really obvious. But people treated me as if it was my fault, even though nobody ever asked me what was up or, talk to me about it. People just assumed that I was being dramatic, attention-seeking, and all of that. But even if I was being dramatic and attention-seeking, that should be a sign that something is wrong. And the appropriate people who I had been trying to talk to should probably have talked to me about that. But they didn't. I mean, the last counselor I had did eventually kind of, like, refer me to to somebody that was supposed to be in a better position to help me. But they didn't. Like, the person that I was referred to didn't help. Yeah, people don't want to ask. But a lot of the time they just assume stuff. Because they'll, like, they don't know the other options. They don't know, or they don't understand, or whatever it is. Like, there's a lot of reasons, but it's just like, I don't really blame them, you know? Especially, like, kids or whatever. But everything that I went through is something that was abnormal. But luckily, like, my last school counselor was pretty decent. I vividly remember going into his office for, like, a regular chit-chat, you know, talk to counselor. And I sat down, and then the next thing I know, he's like, oh yeah, that was good. And it was already the end of the session. And I was really surprised. So I was like, oh, okay. He's like asking me whether or not I remembered what we just talked about. And I was like, oh no. And that was when he referred me to, I think it was the hospital psychologist or psychiatrist or whatever. No, I'm cool with talking about whatever. I go through cycles of where I'm like, yeah, I'm completely open like a book, and then having a mental breakdown and deleting everything. But the having a mental breakdown and deleting everything is gonna happen regardless, so... yeah, even if I don't really say anything, I'm still gonna be like, ooh. Just silly brain things. But no, like, I had a really good experience with my school counselor, but from there on out, it was just all downhill from there. Like, every single one that I got referred to for the official channels, whatever, was the sorts of people that would just be like, yeah, exactly. Like, the sorts of people that would just be like, one decided that all of my problems came from one specific event in my childhood. So while I got, I guess, help for that, it didn't really do anything because I had already worked through that particular issue.
Can be so much more.
So, you know, it wasn't really helpful. And then another one was just like, obviously it was one of those people, you know the stereotype where it's like, oh, you have mental health problems and no one will touch you. Time to study psychology and stuff ourselves and become qualified to treat ourselves. Yeah, it was basically like the poster child of that was the last specialist that I saw. And I only saw one specialist because no matter what I did or like who I tried to talk to, no one would take me on. And then like the people that did take me on were like useless. Like, bruh, I don't even need somebody like a specialist. I just need somebody to listen to me. Like, it's not hard. I will happily sit here and rant about all of the crappity crap that I've had to go through in my childhood, I will happily do that on my own sim. And like, as long as you can sit there, handle what I'm telling you, and be like, that sounds like a whole pile of crappity crap, I will feel validated and be like, oh my god, I'm not going insane. And then like, progress will be made, essentially. Because that's how brain works. Like, I don't need much out of a counselor or a specialist or whatever. I just need the reassurance that, like, that was crap, and a little bit of, like, minor guidance. So having somebody that understands how to navigate trauma stuff is kind of important, but other than that, any other knowledge outside of that doesn't really matter. You think I can find anyone who's willing to take me on? Like, my doctor here, where I live at the moment, is pretty decent, and he has come around to chat with me a couple of times. I'm pretty sure he was kind of just trying to gauge where my mental health was at. But, like, I can sit here and be like, yeah, no matter how low I feel, no matter how self-destructive I feel, I am going to survive. I've survived this long. I've survived worse. I am going to life. Whether I want to or not, it's gonna happen. I can sit there and say that with pretty much 100% confidence. Someone who listens without judgment deserves all the awards. You'd think it would be a common thing, but no. Yeah, 100%. Like, I would never be able to be a good counselor or therapist or anything like that, because I don't have what it takes to sit there and just be like, and listen, like actually truly listen, and not put my 2 pence worth full of all of my preconceived ideas and assumptions and stuff like that. I don't have that patience. I understand why it's a rare thing. Like, it's a skill. Like any skill, it takes practice and you have to hone it. And it doesn't happen overnight, but like, bruh. Hola. Hi. You know what? We'll make her a crazy person. Mutant scholar, let's go. Oh, what has been playing? I'm excited. I wanna guess Genshin, but I bet that's not the answer. Is it something like Sims 4 or something? RuneScape! Oh my goodness! I've never played RuneScape. I tried. I looked at it. And I am... If you can't tell by all of the art on the stream, I am a hoe for aesthetic. Like, a big hoe for aesthetic. That's why everything is slightly rainbow and sparkly and like kind of in the cosmos. I hear it's a really good game. I have some friends that play it. Hi.
Let them try to stop me.
That's you. Alright, I'm doing this because I can. That makes sense. Things that bring nostalgia. I think the main thing, like, part of the reason why I like League so much is it was one of the first good experiences I had with the world. I was in an internet cafe. I was working 4 jobs at the time. It was crazy, and the place wasn't exactly the safest, but I found people to talk to that didn't treat me like trash, and that was through League of Legends of all things. Very different landscape.
I can make a difference here.
I have very positive memories of League of Legends, where most people are like, no, that game's so toxic. So I fully understand that. Just finding that in Neopets, even though I'd never interacted with anyone on Neopets, I'm very like, that thing, that is one of the first things that I interacted with that reminds me of these, not crappy things. Yes. Neopets have changed a lot. They tried to do an NFT thing. It was interesting at the very least. Oh, am I gonna die here? Yeah, I'm a bit of a Neopets fan. A lot of the... that's one of the few things that I have that's like... I have a complicated relationship with that. Because my stepsister was actually the reason why I know about Neopets. Which definitely makes it more interesting in a way. You know what? We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. And we're gonna reforge the Bloodthirster. How much is our attack speed? No, we're not. We're just gonna do this instead. We'll reforge that. There we go. This is fine. I don't see the problem with this. Oh, yes, that was one of my favorites as well. The cheat game, the card game thing with Mercy and Brucey Bear. I very much enjoyed that. That and the, I think it was 200 meter peanut dash. And Mincy beach volleyball. Oh my god, I could have a jinx. 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 But I'm not going to. I'm gonna do the craziness. Scholar? Which scholar am I missing? Oh. You know what? I'm just gonna break myself a little bit. Ah, rough. I almost got it. Beach volleyball, yeah. I have a lot of... I'm pretty much... like, a lot of weird... I guess very near-peer orientated stuff because it was something that my, like, before, but, like, it was something that I used to play when I visited my grandparents as well. So, there's that. And that just kind of makes things more interesting in a way as well. So it's just like, it's one of the things that I remember from my childhood that was like, not terrible, even though it's got all of these interlacing factors that kind of make it, scream into the void sound. It really do be like that. Neopets is like one of the few things that I feel like is that one of those widespread cultural common experiences that people go through. Let me out, 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 let me out right now, let me out right now, let me out right now, let me out right now. Got it. I'm okay now. I get to live. It's fine. I'm gonna get rid of this dude. Your rings are restless. I consider this. I'm gonna do this. Boom. I got what I wanted, kind of. Scholar. Yeah. But none of this is scholar. It's fine. I'm just gonna let things appear in front of me and hope that I don't die. Something. Wish for the best for me. Oh. I'm really worried about my future. Just as a whole. Just as a concept. Like, I know that I'll probably survive because I've survived a lot already. But, like, I'm not. Oh, finally. I don't feel like I'm gonna... I don't know, like, not necessarily get very far, but... I don't think I'm ever gonna have stability. I don't think I'm ever going to have a place that I can feel safe in. I don't feel like I'm ever going to be able to, like, I know that I cannot hold down traditional work. Even though I'm technically physically able to. I just don't, I can't handle that. The dumb trauma brain. Call it what you want. I call it dumb trauma brain. I just can't. So I'm sitting here like, I'm not allowed to save money really, or do anything reasonable. I'm sitting here like, I am dependent on the government. People treat me like crap because of it. Even when I was a little itty bitty fledgling in the world, like, even at the age where literally nobody is expected to be an expert at life, like 18, 19, whatever, the way that the, like, government people treat you when you are like, yes, I've come in to receive aid, they treat you so bad that it's just like, cool, there's my brain, mush again.
My turn.
It's rough.
Wait until my seeds take root.
I got what I wanted. Oh, I'm gonna put that out next. It's fine. I am so dead here. Yeah, so basically I've decided that my only hope of survival in any meaningful way that I would be okay with and that might actually like possibly support myself is online stuff. I figured that out a long time ago, which is why I have been streaming on and off for like, I don't know, since I was 21 or whatever. Basically, as soon as I had the funds to build a computer, I was streaming out of the internet cafes. But the thing is, like, my mental stability is coming for that as well. Like, I've deleted pretty much every previous streaming attempt. Every time I get viewers that are like regulars, it just messes with my head, and then I can't. Work for less than 12 hours a week right now and not coping with it. Fucking mood. It's either work and become a mess, or don't work and become slightly less of a mess, and then worry about everything that comes with not working and all of that nonsense. Yeah, I relate to that a lot. I left home when I was, well, left home is strong words for it. I got put into custody for like 3 months. 24/7 monitored care, technically. You know what, we'll go with the setup again for the aesthetics. I really liked that. We were in a house, like a 24/7 staffed, fully monitored house for like, I think 3 months or whatever. Must have been like 2 or 3 months. And I studied. I got my level 2, my NCA level 2, because that's like the certificate thing, right? I got that. That was fine. The course I did was like basic skills and stuff, and that was actually like pretty useful. It was full of high school dropouts pretty much. And even though I had my NCA level 2 and I didn't need to do it, I took this course, and I'm really glad I did. Because the person that was teaching the course was like, this is how to be a functional human being. We're doing exercise on this day, and this day, be prepared for that. And like, basically, is like, these things are important to employers, here's why, here's how you do the thing. And this is how to like, live life and be able to work, and like, basic useful skills. I don't know if that course is still around, but it helped. Like, I learned how to not be as much of a mess as I was, so that was good, but I was still a mess. So I took another course, completely different one. I took a course that was like arts and mixed media and stuff. Yeah, like I fully agree. They have defunded a lot of those types of courses that, like the first one that I took, which sucks because I actually took another one like that when I moved to the biggest city in New Zealand. And that place doesn't exist anymore, but it was like Potama or whatever. But it was very useful, and that like they had people with various different like levels of education. There was one guy in my class, in the second like I guess starter course, for lack of a better word. There was one guy that was illiterate, so we played Scrabble together, and he learned by playing Scrabble and looking in the dictionary and stuff. And like that's how he got taught how to read. Oh my god. For a second I thought you meant the biggest city in New Zealand doesn't exist anymore. No, I meant the second course that I went on. Oh my god. Ah. Yeah. No, so yeah, we had one guy that was like, his literacy skill was basic, and he was being taught how to read and write, basically. And then a lot of us were there for like hospitality and catering type stuff, because I figured that that would be something I could do. I mean, I wasn't far wrong, but no, didn't work out. But I got all my credits and everything, so in theory I could. There was like a lady that had been a prostitute for multitudes of years on end that didn't want to be anymore. And she was there trying to like learn a different skill set essentially. Yeah, like that was something that she said that she chose to go into. But a lot of people that she met while she was out there didn't really feel like they had much of a choice. So I guess in a way that she was doing pretty well for herself in the sense of like she was doing something that she enjoyed that she chose, from what I could gather at least. And then she just decided to change it up. You know what? Here we go. Arcanist, let's go. So like it was a very wide range of people. Like it was good. It was really good though. You met a lot of different people, and everyone in these types of courses was just like there because they wanted to change something. Like we had all types, but from all walks of life sort of stuff. But that was like, I did 3 of those types of courses in total. Mercenary heart. Oh my gosh, how am I meant to say no to a mercenary heart? Very easily.
This body is just one of many.
But yeah, and then there was, I did an arts course, which was like digital and like mixed media and like physical arts and stuff. So we did bone carving, stone carving, printing, like masks, digital art. I think we did fabric stuff. I don't entirely remember. Sculptures was one. I remember planning out a sculpture and then like not. And I don't know if that ever happened. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I enjoyed it overall. But I'm pretty sure my tutors weren't a fan because I don't know how often I actually turned up. Probably not very. I'm gonna assume not very. It's been a wild ride. I'm pretty sure people that have interacted with me know more about my life than actually me. At this point. Let's see. Doink, 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 doink. I'm just sniper, I guess. That was a really crappy selection to choose from. Oh well, can't win them all. Can only try. Alrighty. But yeah, like, I don't know, I studied a lot. I worked a lot of different jobs. Nothing ever stuck. People tell me things that have happened in my life and I just nod. Yeah, like, most of the time I can generally tell if someone's lying through their teeth to me, so that's always a big plus. I've had that happen before, but I've also had things happen where I just don't know. Where people come up to me and they'll be like calling out a name I don't recognize, and then I realize they're talking to me, and I'm like, oh no. I don't remember you. Have fun. That's happened a lot. Like, not so much recently, but back in the day, that was a really big problem I had. Of like, I don't know who has problems with me because I don't know who I've talked to.
This body is just one of many.
Sometimes. Yeah, I can imagine. It has been a mess, and I want stability. I want to have a place where I can feel safe. I want to be able to live with my partner. I think it sucks that I can't put myself in a position, like, I can't save up money, or the government will be like, you've got savings, that's an asset, you need to spend all of that right now. Because that's what happened last time. But last time I was on, like, a different thingy, like, payment thingy. So maybe this time the rules are different. I don't know. They make it so convoluted and stressful to deal with them that I don't want to risk anything. Which sucks, because if I got the help that I needed when I asked for it the first time, I would be so much better off. I would be probably capable of working decent hours because I like to help people. And if I was more mentally, like, I would be quite content just, like, doing whatever most of the time. I've tried, like, pretty much everything as far as I'm concerned. Like, a very wide variety of things. Yeah, they do make it ridiculously confusing. I had a mental breakdown because I got accused of relationship fraud, which is basically when they decide you're in a relationship and that you're trying to cheat the system by not telling them that you're in a relationship. The only time that I was in a, I guess, stable-ish relationship, which was also not great and kind of high-key abusive, I told them, and I was like, hey, by the way, like, we've just come out of high school, blah, 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 would prefer not to have our incomes combined because that kind of, like, takes away independence, yada, yada, yada. Thankfully, the lady that we dealt with at the time was really understanding, and I'm really glad that that never got combined because, like I said, it was kind of toxic / abusive, and I just didn't know it because why would I? I had no framework to work off of no reference point of what is good and what is not. I just knew what was not, so that was it. And I didn't recognize anything else that was not okay until something better came along. I have a lot of opinions on how the system works here. But basically, they accused me of relationship fraud, and then I was like, but I'm not though. And then I got people to, like, friends to sign, well, quote-unquote friends. There are people that had known me for a long time who know that I'm not a liar and stuff like that. So I trust them, like, oh yeah, I can be like, yeah, I'm not a lying hoe, and they'd be like, yeah, this person's not a lying hoe, they're like a good hoe. Yeah, that's good that it didn't combine the income. Yeah, for that one. But when they accused me of relationship fraud, and I signed all the right forms and I got people to vouch for me and all of that nonsense, what they did was they didn't care, and then, like, the guy at the office was saying how I was gonna be sending my friends to jail because obviously I'm a liar, because my stuff was inconsistent, because I have a dissociative disorder that affects my personality, which he didn't understand, And if he had just read the footnotes for once, maybe he would have understood. But no, his tiny little pea brain couldn't handle the fact that mental disorders affect someone's mentality. So, accurate. Suffice to say, wasn't too impressed. And I had a mental breakdown and had no way of getting out of a not great situation. It wasn't bad, as in, like, I technically had a roof over my head and food in my stomach, but I was not mentally there. I was not mentally capable of fighting anything. Not really surprising, considering I was forced into a situation where I had to share a bed with someone that I didn't want to share a bed with, and my brain just like, yeah. I would love that. I would like a certified good her. That would be amazing. That would make my day. But damn, that would be the best. But yeah, like, they make it unnecessarily stressful. And I don't understand why they think it's a good idea to combine people's incomes, even just in general. If I'm in, it's really easy to end up in a bad situation, right? No, I will take that. It's really easy to end up in a bad situation, right? So, you end up in a bad situation, your income's combined, you're essentially screwed. Like, how are you meant to get out of that situation? How many hoops do you have to jump through in order to, like, having to ask for somebody else's permission to leave a bad situation and to have to hope like hell that they will understand your point of view and not just automatically take the side of the other person and be like, no, we're not approving this. My brain hurts. And the amount of small town places where everyone talks to each other and it's just like, cool. So I've talked to this person to try get funding to get out of this bad situation, and then they've gone and talked to the person that's making my situation bad in the first place. Thanks. That's great. Yeah, no, it has not been a fun time at all dealing with them, the official government peoples. It's, yeah, it hurts my brain. That's for sure. I would like it to not hurt. If things could be good, that would be great. But what pisses me off the most, what angers me into the very being, like, I can understand to a certain degree that social norms used to be different, and this is just kind of like the historical trails of that coming through all of their paperwork and crap. I can understand that. Sure, I can wrap my head around that. What I can't wrap my head around is, oh, let's teach you budgeting and how to, like, be good with money. And then when you're actually faced with the reality of it, you're not allowed to save money. Honestly, one of the best things about living in a big city is not everyone talks to everyone. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is. But also then you've got the worst thing about living in a big city is the anonymity and the fact that you don't know what the people around you are like. And then you've got all of that anxiety. I don't know if that's just me, but, like, there is no winning ever. It is just suffer, brain suffer. The constantly having to put faith in other people Crap.
It is in motion.
Oh, there we go. Boom. But yeah, I really get peeved off a lot and angered a lot by the amount of times where I've had to listen or attend certain seminars or whatever, and it's like, we offer budgeting courses, and I'm like, I did accounting in school because I didn't want to end up like the people that tried to raise me, and that's putting it liberally because we all know there was no attempt to raise me at all. That's how I ended up the way I am. But like, I know how to budget. I know how to do small business accounting, kind of, in theory, maybe, possibly. Not that I really remember much of it anymore. But like, I know how to do stuff. I know how to budget, blah, 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 blah. It's just, we're not allowed to budget. It's against their precious little rules. I just went past the thing I needed. Of course I did. If you have, I think it's more than $1,000, you can get your benefit, as they call it, cut. It just goes bye-bye. So that's fun. That's just a fun fact that I'm ever so aware of. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Just like, aha, yes, that's fun. Thanks.
I will protect you.
I don't know. It's wild how the government can be like, aha, but like, no, we're not doing anything wrong. We don't, like, we're just gonna restructure this bit. We're not gonna admit anything else. Screw that. Screw that crap.
Yep. The glass is half empty.
Oh crap. I didn't get to rearrange properly. It's fine. Yeah, it's only $1,000 before it's like, oh, that's an asset now. Also, they will try convince you to sell anything they deem an asset, even if you don't list it, including stuff like your car, for instance. So, you know, if you live anywhere that requires you, or, okay, no, not even if you live anywhere. Public transport sucks for most places. And you need public transport in order to not need a car, right? But they're gonna force you to get rid of your car because reasons. Because logic. Because that makes perfect sense. In their little pea brains. It's dumb. It's big dumb. It sucks. Like, there are a lot of dumb rules that exist for what I feel is no good reason. Or, like, they've just kind of been adapted and reworded for modern day, but it doesn't really fit. I see exactly what I need. Let me free, let me free, let me free, let me free. Give, 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 give. Alright. I wish I had this and that, but I cannot have this and that, So, you know, we'll figure it out.
Disappointing.
Alright, what do we need for Arcanist? Alright. Hope for the best, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I've been thinking a lot, not just recently, but just like constantly about I want to live in a place like I'm currently living with the sense of like I don't necessarily feel safe here, but I feel safer here than I have a lot of other places. I like the fact that I know exactly the type of exactly the type of housing I'm in. I mean, it literally built it. I chose the jib, I chose the insulation, I chose the paint that was going on the walls. Like, it's nice to be able to customize. That's not the bit that makes me the most happy, though. The bit that makes me the most happy is knowing that there's not going to be big black monsters coming out of the wall. And by black monsters, I mean, like, black mold. Just seeping its way through. Like, shadows in the night, sulking through. You know what? Sure. All of my people have items, it's fine. So that's like, I guess one of the bigger things.
Fuse is burning. Fuse is burning.
Is the fact that I know exactly what's in these walls. I know how like it's not had leaky roof problem. Yeah, it's the size of a shoebox. It's tiny and it heats up way too easily. But I know that I'm not gonna get sick from it. Yeah, but the problem I have is that the price that I pay for this place, I mean, it's fine. As in, the price is fine. But, I live with my family, who is a big root of my problem. Like, a very major root of my problem. It's difficult because I live with my grandparents and I love them and respect them, but I constantly feel the pressure to be a certain way. I can't ever let my guard down because I am keenly aware that my grandmother loves her daughter, who is my mother.
Cool.
And I have severe problems with my mother existing in the universe, just as a concept. She's a bad concept. We should just not with her. That would be cool. But, you know, it is what it is.
Yep. The glass is
Can't win them all. Yeah, it would be nice to, like, not have to deal with my grandparents on the daily. I love them, and I respect them, and unfortunately that also means that I can never relax while I'm here. I'm always on the edge, I'm always hyper aware of everything that's going on, all of the time.
Glass is half empty.
I don't have a choice in that, and it sucks. most interesting things, I guess, is caring about someone. Even if, like, how they are, isn't the healthiest. Or, like, even if how they interact with the world is really negative for you. It's really difficult. Like, my grandma is one of the most well-meaning, like, my grandparents are the most well-meaning people I know. My grandma is an unending optimist, always looking for the best in people, always wanting to believe in the best in people, even if absolutely everything points to not that. Which can make it really difficult because she'll say things like my mother is like an honest person or whatever. But that's not true. That's just blatantly not true. But she wants to believe in her kids, right? Like, I get that. But because of her unending optimism and always wanting to believe in the best in people, it takes a lot for her to be like, okay, there's a problem. And then when there is a problem, she often just ignores it. And then my grandpa is like, question everything. You should question everything. It's your job to question everything. And part of that is because he likes things that he can, like, I guess logical things, in the sense of follows a train of thought that he can follow, like that sort of stuff. But sometimes that means that he can get wrapped up in conspiracy theories, and even though he wants to be an open-minded person and, like, engage in certain discussions, he's always encouraged that sort of thing, right? He's also very stubborn. It runs in the family. Hi, yeah, I have that exact same flaw. And it can be really difficult to deal with sometimes. Because he has a certain way of looking at the world. And it's a lot of pressure all of the time, on top of the pressure that I'm already putting on myself. So even though they're incredibly well-meaning people, and I don't even know where I would be without them. I would probably be, I don't even know. I don't even want to think about that. It's kind of scary. It's still, like, not the best situation. It is a lot better than the situation I would be in otherwise. And I'm extremely grateful for that. But, like, I'm screwed, fam. It is because of them that I'm able to stream again, essentially. I wouldn't have been able to stream over however long because a lot of the internet cafes have closed down. So I wouldn't be able to live at the internet cafes, at least here, or anywhere for the matter. Like, it's not really, I don't know, they kind of don't appreciate that, you know? I would probably be homeless if it wasn't for my grandparents, again. And it's not the worst experience. It's, like, being homeless isn't the absolute worst thing. But, it's definitely not something I want to repeat, if I can avoid it. And without my grandparents, that's probably exactly where I would be. Because I would still probably be dealing with the whole government situation being on my back, and then not having a permanent address. They won't help you. because you need an address to get help, and it's like, okay, cool, thanks, that was useless. I don't know why they decided that was a good idea. Having to have a mail address to receive assistance. Well, I don't know. I've also been weirdly, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it's delusional. Sometimes I feel like it's hopeful. And then sometimes I also feel like it's needlessly optimistic. I know that I am a very capable individual. I know that I can pick up on things and figure things out and do stuff. But I also know that I need a certain set of structures to be, like, a certain set of things to be hit. Yeah, well, unfortunately, the government doesn't like when you have the homeless shelter as an address. Also, I personally kind of avoided going to the homeless shelter while I was in that position because it's kind of dangerous in its own way. Like, they do their best, but at the end of the day, it's like a giant advertisement to the rest of the world of, hey, I'm in a vulnerable position. You can take advantage of me, which is not really something I want the world knowing. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why people are homeless. And unfortunately, out of all of the people that I met while I was homeless, a lot of them were struggling with mental health issues. And it sucks, because it's just like, cool. Yeah, it's definitely an adventure.
Deeds, not
You never
words.
quite know what's gonna happen, I guess.
I'm on a short fuse.
I was always the sort of person that, I mean, we've already established that I have a hard time trusting people, and that I have a certain set of psychological issues myself that heavily impacts my relationships with people.
Come on, it black shoe.
And a part of that means that I am extremely avoidant of others. Probably unnecessarily so at some point.
I go where the work leads.
But it just means that I get really paranoid, even though I can be like all of these other stuff as well. I get extremely paranoid and whatnot over really basic stuff. I very easily get triggered, and it sucks because I would just be like, haha, imagine doing this basic necessary task. And I managed to deal with a lot of that, but now I'm at the point where I can basically function, as in, like, I can function very basically. Which it sucks, because it's like, I want to be doing more than just basic functionality. But that's the best I got. At least at the moment. Like, simple things like showers, or washing dishes, or just being in a kitchen, or being in a house. Like, the concept of a house is one that, like, for ages, I struggled to sleep in a bed. Just really basic stuff that I shouldn't have had to have issues with, that I had issues with because of my experiences. It's just really annoying, the fact that I can sit here and be like, yeah. And what?
Empire above all.
You know what, maybe I will go for Yodel. That's Hex Tech, that's some socialite nonsense, that's some questionable nonsense. M-Tech, Syndicate, questionable, mutant. I might just go for some Yodel stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's difficult because it's taken me so long for what feels like so little progress. Even though, considering everything, it's kind of a lot of progress. And the fact that I've managed to manage things like this, despite all of that, is kind of amazing. For sure, even when you have the basics down, doesn't always mean you've got it down all the time. 100%. 100%. And it's really frustrating, more so when you not being able to have a thing down pat means not just that, oh, you've got to deal with that in the future, but also on top of that, that not having done the thing, the result of that ends up essentially triggering you. And it's just like, thanks, brain. I love to see that you're literally embedded with trauma. That's great. Can you not? Can you stop? That would be nice. But no, it never stops. The cycle never ceases. The wheels turn without us.
I'm on it, Black Shoe.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for being the opposite of helpful, brain. I found that the people that are around, like if there are people around, like flatmates or the like, that have a good response, which is like calm and being like, hey, don't worry about it, it's okay, like reassuring, I tend to do a lot better. And I tend to mirror the people around me, partly because that is how children work, right? Like, there is a certain giant chunk of me that is essentially just a child, because I didn't get what I needed as a child, so I never really, like, developed in certain areas. And so I have a tendency to be this mishmash of just confusion that confuses people. And then I mirror people. At times, a lot of the time. To be honest, I kind of reflect that same energy. So if somebody comes at me panicking, I'm probably going to panic. Unless it's enough to set off my brain bells, and then I am not panicking and I am just being like everything that's needed in that moment. Thing is, it's trying to be helpful, doing what deems to be safe or what's needed for survival. Yeah.
Yep. The glass is
100%.
half empty.
It do be trying, but it's also trying my fucking nerves. I mean, honestly though, it's a little maddening at times. Can't be perfect all of the time. Sure can try though. I am. I'm planning out what I'm gonna put on the board. And trust me when I say it's great. Not that great.
Don't worry, I got this.
It's great. I don't know. I feel like I find it really hard to connect with people. And then when I do connect with people, I have a mini meltdown. Wow, my end's afraid right now. That's fun. I see you trying to outsmart me. Accurate. For the longest time, I refused to accept a lot. And I see a lot about acceptance and whatnot. Honestly, I think the refusal to accept certain things, or like, if the refusal to accept things until you've kind of tried everything and persisted a whole bunch, sometimes that can be bad. But I found it really good. Like, it helped me get to a lot of places. Like, it helped me not have to deal with so much. Like, there are a certain amount of barriers that you can push through. I feel like I've pushed through most of them. And I'm sitting here and I know I need help for, like, the abandonment issues and the issues I have with my mother. And that's just like, I'm always probably gonna need help with that. But I don't know if I will ever get it. But can't win them all. Can sure try though.
I can do this.
Oh yeah. Arcanist. No. Alright. Magic and true damage from your unit's abilities can critically strike. Magic damage and critically strike.
Do not make my
Boom. Alright. Let's go. I wish this was on this, but it's fine. Sometimes the denial bubble is what you need. I agree. But then other times, this is why psychologists and counselors, therapists are important. Because sometimes we need a little bit of a spotlight on, hey, maybe you should take a breath, or hey, blah 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 blah, maybe you should try push through. Hey, but hey, you've done a big ton of hard work, so just don't discount that. I mean, yeah, but it doesn't feel like it because I have no emotional memory. Or memory at all for that matter. I can remember things that people have said 10 years after they've said them. I can remember random people's names that I don't even know who they are. Do you think I can remember how I felt like a week ago? A day ago? An hour ago? I mean, some days, that's all you do be hearing, even when there are words said. I got a thing. I'm gonna get rid of that thing to replace it with that thing. Oh, I technically didn't need to get rid of anything. Is This is fine. Not.
Yep, that tasted purple.
We got this. Life be hard, but not as hard as this. Things I probably shouldn't say on the YouTube live that I would 100% say on Twitch. My entire personality is trauma. Some people say that makes me super interesting. But personally, I just say... Did I just stare off into space for the effect? Yes. Yes, I did. You're welcome. I'm hilarious. I don't want any of that. I don't want any of that. Ugh. You know what would be great? Those people are not it. Agreed. Do you know what? Oh my gosh, I got so much good stuff. Yeah, dang. Okay. That. This. This is like... Alright, what we got? Dang. Alright.
Do not make my hammer mad.
Trauma doesn't make people interesting. Agreed. Introspection and self-awareness makes people interesting.
Kill me? Get in line.
I'm so glad you noticed. Oh. Oh. Yes. Yes. Can I only have one of those? You know what? I'm just gonna... Boom. Easy. Easy mode. I'm gonna put that on that. Yeah. Boom. I agree. I don't know what I'm agreeing with, but I'm agreeing with something, apparently. I am very hesitant to actively engage with a lot of the dissociative / trauma-based communities. I haven't exactly had the best track record, especially in the dissociative spheres.
So, what are we doing?
Which is a bit unfortunate, but it do be like that, you know? Oh, there's a whole center right there. Alright. Oh, I could get another socialite? Or another arcanist? Or another bodyguard? The bodyguard one might be interesting. I'll take the bodyguard one. And then I can do that. Ow. I think I might die. The DID community is a mess. Yeah, I mean, it's a whole bunch of traumatized people. Are we really surprised? I, for one, am not. Not in the slightest. Think about it. It makes perfect sense that it would be a mess.
I can do the hard way.
don't know. I personally, I feel like there is a benefit to having community around such things. As in, it makes you feel less alone, less like a monster, blah 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 blah. You know the drill. Community does have its benefits. But I feel like when it's the main place you're chilling out, it's probably not the hottest idea. I'm gonna take one of these because I can. I've been on Tumblr when people like Steven Universe was a recent thing at that moment,
Make my hammer
and on Tumblr a whole bunch of people were being like, haha, I have Steven Universe alters, which was a decision. Not that people get to choose their alters or whatever, but like, I have opinions, and they clash against a lot of other people's opinions, because a lot of people just want to be like, fluffy, happy, good times only. I'm sitting over here like, about that. Like, I have opinions that are, on this particular subject, for once actually grounded in a certain amount of studies and whatnot. Like, educated opinion. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm right. I just have opinions, and I don't go around shoving it in certain people's faces or whatever. But people still will come at me for having said opinions. Yeah, sounds about right. Like, there's no winning. It's just pain. Like, I'm not even surprised. It's whatever. I don't know. I understand having fictives. I understand with alters, you don't really get a choice. Like, I didn't wake up one day and decide to be me. I don't think anyone does. Like, we wake up one day and decide the direction that we want to head in from the point that we're at. Yeah, sure. But, like, I didn't go, yes, I am this entire other person. Like, that is who I am now. Like, I'm still me. I'm still my own person, no matter how much fictiveness is going on. It's like a reference point, not beyond that, you know? Yeah, it's like, it's possible, but like, you randomly have all the main characters from a new show out of the blue. May I give you the side eye? Exactly. And the amount of inconsistency in a lot of people's presentation, like, decisions were made, and even if they're subconscious ones, decisions were still made. I feel kind of mean for saying that, but I mean, it's kind of true though. I don't expect people to, like, I don't know, be perfect or whatever. But I do expect, I don't know, I expect a lot from people apparently, according to the internet. From how I think of it, the moment fictives exist, they start to become their own outside of that source. 100%. Like, that is, yes, that is you, but also, you are you. You're not that other person. You might share the base level of that person from a certain point in time. I don't know. I don't really care enough about it. Like, I don't give a shit. If your entire identity is based on someone else and is essentially someone else, you do you. I don't really care enough about it. It's just mildly frustrating when people get mad at me for being like, but for real though, side-eye, push 'em up. Can't win them all.
Purple.
Yep. Glass is half empty.
I've kind of stuck to my own lane. Like, I don't not talk about the ID shit anymore. But, I try to keep it out of my bio. And I don't really want people seeking me out because of that specifically. I want them seeking me out because I provide a certain amount of entertainment, or they find me interesting, or they value my opinions on stuff. I want them seeking me out of curiosity about whatever game I'm playing, or whether or not I don't know, other stuff. Like, that is a part of me, sure, but I don't want it to be the be-all or and end-all of everything. I'll take that thing. Thank you. Yeah, it's not my whole life. My whole life is a mess. It really do be like that, though. Alright. What are we gonna do? We're gonna do this. Boom. And boom. Easy. Well, we're slowly getting closer and closer to our goal.
So, what are we doing?
Follow my voice.
Am I dead here? I might be dead here. I might be dead here. I'm so dead here. Yeah, same. It's nice to find people you click with. I feel like that a lot of people have this kind of expectation that everybody should give everybody a chance. And I am glad that, I don't know, you just seem to respect people and not be a dick. Like, I don't exactly have the highest standards, but apparently, they're, like, extremely high, because that's what I keep on getting told. Crazy. Alright, I think I'm gonna play one more game and then call it a night. been chill times. I've been enjoying this stream a lot. To be fair, it really does help when I have someone to talk to. Ignore the fact that I'm fairly expressionless in my face. Ha ha ha. I keep on forgetting to press the buttons. Ah, it's almost like I have a thing that fucks with my brain. Oh my god, so wild. Me being like, dissociative disorder is not your entire identity. But also me constantly referencing it because it's basically like one of the major things that has shaped my life. Fun times. I think I just heard like a hypocrite in the back of my skull, as in, I am the hypocrite, haha. Probably. I am a flawed person who doesn't actually think they're flawed most of the time. I feel completely reasonable until I don't. He was a good bean. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's understandable. Preparing for or sounds stressful. See, what I do when I get stressed is I just don't exist. That's a terrible idea. Terrible advice brought to you by one idoless. Oh well. Can't win them all. Take care out there. It's a very, what's the most common thing here? It's a very feather nighty world, apparently. Might play as the Pingu Feather Knight next time I'm on. Pleases me. Looks like a pinky. I wonder what we're gonna end up with this time. I was looking at VR stuff because, Pingu Ninja, yes. I was looking at VR stuff because I was like, VR chat, I've hopped in it. I had a stint where I hopped in it like however many days in a row, 2 or 3 days in a row. And then I had a bit of a mental breakdown and removed myself from a whole bunch of Discord servers that were related to that. Also, a lot of people seem to be like really young or really obscene. And I don't know, there just seems to be kind of like no in between for some reason. I don't know why. It's weird. But I really like VR chat. And at that same time, I was in and out of Second Life for a whole bunch because, I mean, unreality is more of a reality to me a lot of the time. So things that aren't actually real, it's a lot easier to feel safe in and channel myself through, but yeah. Anyways, so I was looking at VR stuff, and then I realized that my graphics card is the same graphics card that killed my last CPU, that then I had to replace, and that I should probably do something about that. And then I realized that the reason I couldn't see anything on my screen, is the fact that the screens that have been repaired and whatnot, to put it politely, they are recycled, repurposed, removed from the trash can screens. So, I mean, that's fun, I guess. But, I've never had a good monitor. I've never had a new monitor. I've always had trash can monitors or repaired monitors. Now, to be fair, the repaired monitor is actually decent, but like it's also kind of annoying because it has a bug squished in it, but it's decent. But I would like new monitors one day. So I was looking at those, looked at GPU to replace the one that like glitched out my last CPU, which I had to replace. I was looking at VR stuff and I was like, oh my gosh, VR is so expensive. And then I was like, well, if I'm gonna spend a bunch of money in my imaginary money pit, because let's face it, am I ever gonna be able to afford it? Not really. If I'm gonna spend a bunch of monies, I might as well go all out, right? Like, get exactly what I think looks like I would want the most. So, I did that. I looked at the prices of that, and that was a lot of money. And then I looked at mice, because I've been wanting a very specific style of mouse for a while. And in New Zealand, all we had for options for the longest time, especially at EB Games, because TV Tech didn't have it and like other places didn't have it, was like the Razer Naga. And I bought one of those from EB Games a long time ago. It was faulty out the box. And the software clashed with most of the games I wanted to play. So I couldn't play like League or whatever for like 3 months until I finally uninstalled it and realized that was the problem. And every replacement they sent to me didn't work right out the box. So you might say that I have beef with Razer. I hope it's suitably trippy for you. But yeah, it's been a lot with Razer. So anyways, all of this is to say, I added it all up and it's gonna cost me like over $4,000 to get all of the bits and bobs I want. And that's including a bigger SSD, because currently I have a hard disk drive. It's slow. After having an SSD, going back to having a hard disk drive, it's painful. It hurts my soul. But I have a wish list now. And that's all it will ever be. Wishes. They'll be fun wishes, though. Alrighty. Bodyguard. You know what? What am I gonna do? I don't know. I don't want to do Bruiser. I feel like that would be fun. Yeah, it's like 1,600 for the VR headset without the trackers. So there's that. But I feel like VR would be nice, because then it feels a lot safer in some ways, And at the same time, it feels riskier because I feel more real online than I do in real life. Like, this model, my whole thing is like, oh, I don't exist. Like, I do not exist. I am not a real person. I don't exist. And that feels like me. This apparition is just a manifestation of how I feel. And it sounds stupid, because it is. It's almost like I have a mental illness. But like, whatever works, dude. Like, damn, I don't have time to be fretting about shit, do you? I'm gonna sell all of these. YOLO. Boom. Hey, however you get through it. If it ain't hurting anyone, it's all good. I mean, yeah. 100%. I find it funny how often, especially how things used to be on Tumblr and stuff like that, when I used to use Tumblr, how often people would fawn over fictional characters and
No.
assign emotions and stuff to them.
Not words.
But then
Deeds, not words.
when I was talking about my mental illness stuff, they would, like, the same people that would treat a fictional character as if it was real, even if it was just in jest, the fact that they could easily talk like that and then turn around and just be a total knobby knob, a total big toe, was just like very confusing to me. And with the rise of VTubers and VTubers having their own backstories and stuff, I feel a lot safer to just be like, yeah, yep, my reality isn't real, haha, this is definitely just a character. But it's also just an expression of how I feel. Hi. Thought us at the tail end, my friend. I also am living for VTubing. It is an outlet that I am very excited to explore. Oh, I could get another bodyguard emblem. Or I could get a socialite emblem. Or I could get a mutant emblem. Mutant emblem. Let's go. Yeah, VTubing has a lot of flexibility, which is nice. Each ally that dies. Oh, alright. Well, I'm gonna just put that on the beefiest of beefy boys. Save that for a rainy day. Yeah, it is lots of... At the moment, I've been creating models using Vroid, which basically, it's very limited in the sense of it basically does all of the heavy lifting for you. Like, I just played around with a few sliders. It's kind of like character customization in a lot of video games. except you have the ability to add all of your own textures. So that's cool, and that's fun. I've been playing around with that, and this model is made using that. So it's not the best quality models, but it's definitely a lot more accessible to a lot more people, which is nice. Like, I made all of the Sims 40 pretty much. Like, I made all of the textures on this myself. Like, this entire model is technically made by me, but in Vroid. So you can get, like, very decent models just for freezies. They also have default textures and colors and stuff that you can play around with. I don't know. I've been playing around with it and seeing what I can do with textures alone. Because 3D modeling is pretty intense, and I don't really want to risk my graphics card dying on me or frying my CPU again.
Metal is harder than flesh.
Because that has already happened once. And I really want to avoid that. Yeah. My old CPU didn't have a good day of things. I only found out after I replaced it, though. Well, technically only found out. I thought it was a GPU issue all along. But I had not enough money for a GPU because those are like twice as much as computer, like CPUs, computer processors. I'm going for Bruisable. What does that mean? Well, that means I'm going for a lot of healthy boys. Melee healthy boys. I'll grab that. Boom. I've eaten all of my ice cream. I've done pretty much no exercise. This is my downfall. Take care. Have fun. Well, you know what I mean. You too. Take care. Stay safe. Appreciate all of you. Pointing fingers. I don't have a pointing finger thing, so you get waves instead. Oh, I'm halfway to dead.
To live is to fight.
Yeah, I'm just gonna boom. Well, I found where a whole bunch of our bruises are. In the wrong backyard. I don't really care though, I'm going for it anyways. We're having a chill time, even though it's ranked. Oh, so rude. Challenger, Bruiser. Yeah, Super Gym. Fuck their bruises. Yordle, Kimtic, Challenger.
Right onward.
How much is 40%? Alright, 40% crit chance. That's 50% crit chance. Alright. Bruiser. Bruiser.
Let's bounce.
Boom.
Trample them.
Sniper? I could take that sniper, but I'm going full bruiser build. Alright. Full bruiser build, let's go. Why full bruiser build? Wow. I don't know. I was feeling it.
Now we begin.
Speaking of feeling it. Who will be eaten first? Alright. Physical damage and magical damage. I'm getting raped. Arsonist Challenger, Arsonist, you know what? I'm really hoping for that last Alawi, but yeah, I'm not gonna hold my hopes up to something like that much at least. Bam! Not perfect, but like bruisey boys. I should have probably put a house on them, but meh. Yeah. Alright, alright. Can't make no bruiser. Which means I'm not gonna get the full bruiser stack, but like, do I care? Well,
Let's
you
get
know what?
going. Let's get going.
You know what? Well, I'm gonna put that on them. There, over there. There we go. I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm not winning. Alrighty. I'm on 2 health. Your units deal bonus damage equal to target's maximum health. Ugh. Passing your ability. Sure. I'll take that one. You know what?
Let's
Sure.
bounce. They may have many, but you have me.
You know what? I'm just gonna...
Someone's about to get hurt.
Boom. Alright. Alright, well, we have some big boys on the board now. So, hopefully we can do something with that. I don't know. I'm gonna just put that on him. And there, over there. I'm screwed. I'm so screwed. I didn't even get to use most of my items. Alright. Keeps putting me in loser's queue. I'm bad. Ignore that bit. Ignore the me being bad bit. Alrighty. Well, that was fun. You know the drill. Time to go. Thank you for watching.